And so on we're live on YouTube. And again, I said this here is American Muslim 360. And what we do on American Muslim 360, when we start off the program, we do this, just to let you know. Yeah, just to let you know, this is it's called a disclaimer. And so we want to put the disclaimer up real quick. All right, there's a disclaimer. The content of American Muslim 360 Broadcasting Network is intended for general information and community service purposes only. Views expressed by hosts or guests are their own and not necessarily the official position of AM360 or the parent corporation, Community-Wide Shura Conference Incorporated, or its board of directors, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so today is, we always start off Saturday. We always start off Sunday with with DJ Sawt. That's DJ SAWT. And what I want to do right here is I want to do Muslims Marketplace. Yeah, this is Muslims Marketplace, and I want to share that. I want to share that with you, because this is a spot that you really can go to get a lot of information from here. This is a DJ Sort. It has home, it has events, directory, list of businesses, etc., etc. Explore our community, events, masjids, stores, schools, clinics, food, products. This is DJ Sort, and not only does she do that, but she's a services professional. And there are things that she does. She can create a website for you, and there's other ways that she can assist, especially when it comes to the technicals, the way that the technicals are done. She can do something for you with that. So make sure to check out. Yeah, make sure to check out. I just had. I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna have to bring that back up again. Okay, and this is DJ Salt Radio. So this is what we play on. This is what we play on Sundays. We start at 10 a.m. American Muslim, a New Day Community Radio goes from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so Sunday is our first day. And so we play the first hour, DJ Sort Radio, which features Muslim artists. And, there's some, very beautiful sounds that talk about Islam, not with all the sex and misogyny, etc., but, basic, good music that happens with on DJ Sort Radio. And so this is why we support DJ Sort Radio and what is being done with it. And we encourage you to go ahead and listen. As a matter of fact, you can play this 24 hours a day. You can download it, you can get on it, and you can stay on it 24 hours a day because she plays, DJ Sort Radio plays 24 hours a day. So, then after that, then we do cultural connections. So I'm finished with that. So after that, we do cultural connections. That's when an American Muslim 360 and a New Day Community Radio, we come together. And we come together and we talk about issues of the day. So I was really so I want to start it off like this. This is how we're going to start the program. This is Imam W.D. Muhammad, and this is
with that spirit of devotion to the one God, we can be purified. It was the spirit to be devoted to Allah, to the worship of Him and Him alone, to obey Him.
Okay, so wait a minute. What I'm going to have to do is I have to share it. Yeah, I have to share so that you can see it. Right. So I'm going to share that. Okay, well, so we won't do it like that. We'll do it like this. cancel that. We want to do this. I don't really like this Mac computer that I went and spent damn near $2,000. I damn near spent $2,000 on this Mac computer. And I'm spending $2,000 with this Mac computer, and it's just not consistent for me. It's not. But anyway, while so there's so much that's going on the internet, social media, that I want to play this basic human idea that Imam W.D. Muhammad, promotes, and that the Muslim community, here in America, his Muslim community promotes. And so this is a shout out to Words Make People that made this video, and he's put in a lot of work with these videos on Imam W.D. Muhammad.
With that spirit of devotion to the one God, we can be purified. It was the spirit to be devoted to Allah, to the worship of Him and Him alone, to obey Him over all others. But He also was sent to extend that purification to the actual ethical thinking of the people. An ethical society is a society that believes in a moral, rational logic. Believe in the laws of reasoning. Reasoning we think, but our thinking should be given to certain rules of logic. Matters of thinking, of logic, and also in the practical life. With that spirit of devotion to the
Okay, so with the practical life, so that's where we wanted to make sure that we said something about that. And there's some other pieces that I definitely want to play, because there are, yeah, I wanted to play this piece. This is about Muslims making prayer in the airport.
Why does JFK Airport need a designated Muslim prayer space? I'm not saying that Muslims can't pray. You have the same religious freedoms. An airport is a transportation hub, not a place to attend religious services. Are we going to accommodate all religious faiths then? I don't think that this is a bad question to ask.
Sorry, is that where we are now? The prejudice has gotten to a point where you're offended that other faiths simply exist next to you? Asking why is there a need for an Islamic prayer in an airport isn't intellectually honest or bright, but let me see if I can put it in simple enough terms that even you can understand. You see, a prayer or meditation room at an airport is a civilized way to accommodate people who are clearly not at home and might need to pray or meditate or simply reflect. People also travel for all kinds of reasons, sometimes really sad reasons, and might benefit from a moment of prayer or meditation. And then you ask if they're gonna accommodate everyone's faith. The answer is yes. Yes, they do now. You see, you're singling out Muslim prayer because your question isn't an honest one, but you should know that JFK offers 5 locations where people can pray. One is an area for Islamic prayer, but there's also a synagogue, a multi-faith chapel, and 2, count them, 2 Christian chapels. And that should make you very happy considering the life-size cross around your neck. They even have lactation rooms. Should women not do that either? Because,
yeah, well, we don't have to go any further with that. But it's just, so again, I play this. This is Imam W.D. Muhammad.
With that spirit of devotion to the one God, we can be purified. It was the spirit to be devoted to Allah, to the worship of Him and Him alone, to obey Him over all others. But He also was sent to extend that purification to the actual ethical thinking of the people. An ethical society.
You hear that? The practical thinking of the people.
A society that believes in a moral, rational logic.
A society that believes in a rational, moral logic.
Believe in the laws of reasoning.
Believes in the laws of reasoning.
Reasoning we think, but our thinking should be given to certain rules of logic. Matters of thinking, of logic, and also in the practical life. But that's
So you know, it winds up being a situation. So it winds up being a situation where, um, like this person here that you just heard, you know, she has a problem with logic. Unfortunately, you know, we have a country of people that don't believe in logic. You could tell people, you know, you could tell people this is good for you and it's bad for you. You could tell people that, and they will say, it's good for me," but it's really bad for them. And then the worst part about it is that they're not going to be able to explain it. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Um, you know, with people. You know, I see it all the time with people, the way they you know, I see it all the time with people, you know, the way they
When Biden was president,
I'm going to give you this here. This here is, you know, a guy, Isaiah Martin. Isaiah Martin, he's always putting people in check, you know, about what it is that, you know, they're talking about and what they're saying. And they have a problem with him. And the reason why they have a problem with him is that, you know, he makes them he makes them think. Okay, so you know, just listen to this situation.
when Biden was president in 2022, gas was like $5.
Yeah,
It
right,
was like $5 now.
right, right, correct. You know why? Because Russia went and started a
Because
war in Ukraine.
it was bad.
No. Because Russia went and started a war in Ukraine, and then that led to a constriction of worldwide availability of oil, which led to sanctions from Western nations, which led to an increase in gas prices. Ultimately, Biden released the SPR, which led to gas prices going back down to what they were. Again, the national average for gas is a lot lower, was a lot lower when Biden left office compared to what Trump is today. Biden got dealt a very ridiculous hand, and then ultimately he came forward and reduced them with releasing the SPR. You probably don't even know very much about that. The reality is that Trump got in office, he engaged us into a stupid war that we had no business being in, and that's what went and raised the price of gas for everybody across the country. That's reality.
Yeah, for 2 months. And
That's what it is. That's what it is.
for 2 months.
That's what gas is still higher. It's still more expensive. It's still more expensive.
Yeah.
And the reality is that gas under Biden, when it was at its most expensive point, was also for a very short period of time. But you know what people remember? They remember having to go pay more for everything because Trump went and blamed something that was not even his fault. In this occasion, this was directly his fault. It was his fault because he went and got us in a war we had no business being in, because he wouldn't listen to the behest of Ben Netanyahu, despite the fact that U.S. intelligence said that there was no immediate threat to the United States from Iran, and he went and did it anyway. That's an exact reason why people are absolutely upset, because we did not need this war.
There you
It
go.
did not need to happen. And it was only because of Trump's stupidity that we were in there.
When Biden was president in 2022,
Okay, all right. So that was that. And so now what I want to do is I want to bring on our co-host, on Sister Martha Nailah Wms Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, my sister.
And a grand rising morning to you. My deepest apology for being
Oh, it's okay.
tardy.
We know what to do. We were
Alhamdulillah.
we were
Alhamdulillah.
confident that you would be on. We were confident about that. You know, it's just that, so we have to hold it down.
All right. And
Hold it
here's what
down.
I have as a blessedness. I pray everyone appreciates as I share this with you, William.
Yes.
It's for critiquing, of course, being the artist that you are. Let's see here. Okay, what do you say? And
Cultural Insights, American Muslim 360, the passcode, the telephone number, same ID, a new day for Al Islam Broadcasting 911. No, that's beautiful. You do
uh,
great with this system, Arthur. Excellent.
alhamdulillah.
Yes, beautiful. I like the green yellow combination, man. It's real, it's very royal.
I mean,
Yes,
hey, we're setting a tone for cultural insights, right?
yes,
Coming from the past to the future, the new future looking ahead, all of that in my mind.
yes.
So that is it. Well, everyone, there is, and maybe a space between, but I'll stop the screen sharing for that. All right, on to today's what's in the way of defining our culture today.
Yeah,
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer, holding close to my heart the attributes of Almighty God. I say there's one God and there are no partners with Allah, and that Prophet Muhammad, best example for the human family, is surely prophet and messenger of a prophet to the people, messenger of Allah. So I am greeting everyone with greetings of peace, and that's a new day in and of itself. Each time we are awakened,
yeah,
the however we were in our sleep. I had a very descriptive sleep last night in my dreams. I say dreams, I just say in my world where I
yes,
was. I was somewhere and I could not get totally balanced, even in my dress. I appeared at functions, but I only had top pieces. I mean, it went to my knees, but I'm going, what are people going to think, William?
right.
I, it, I think because I went to sleep with the word raiments on my mind,
Okay.
and how the mind itself is where the shame occurs.
Yeah,
And whatever we're doing, we're supposed to have some kind of shame if we know we're out of sequence with the natural order of how we leave our residence, even if our residence is under a brush of a tree. When we come forth to say greet the public, we want to be in our best character. So our thinking and everything has to conform to that, and God willing. Otherwise, we're not at peace. That's my point.
yes, yes, and it's a good point. And even though it was in your world and it was a different world, the thing is that in reality, Allah is your protector and has protected you not to actually have to experience something like that,
Oof.
because Allah is the protector and Allah protects his servants. You
Ooh,
know,
I can imagine myself running like a rabbit.
yeah, yeah. But Allah, the the
Hmm.
reassuring is that no matter what, when you have submitted yourself to be a servant, the law gonna protect you.
I mean, I thank Allah for that.
I mean, you have to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get to that point not to have fear of nothing, because you because
Zero.
because no matter what the situation is, whether it's in a dream or it's in real life,
Mm-hmm.
and a situation comes up, you know, that Allah is your protector and Allah is the helper of the believer.
I
That's what
mean,
we know. That's what we know, and that's what we have faith in. And if there's a trial or tribulation that we got to go through,
mm-hmm.
we say Allah knows, and we go
Allah knows.
and we go through the trial.
Just
You know,
go through it.
yeah, and I mean, we're not the first ones.
Go figure.
All the prophets had to go through the trial. All of them.
So who do we think we are? Huh?
They were human beings just like us, and
They-
Allah put something on them. Allah
I
put
can
something
I
on
can
them.
hear I can hear in your voice. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yes, they were tried. They were definitely tried by what was documented, written down. We that's all what we can go by. That it was written and they told the truth.
And carried out the duty that was placed upon them.
Yes.
And the beauty of it is that Moses didn't know. Moses' mother didn't know. The Quran says this.
And right.
His mother didn't know.
She had to trust, didn't she?
She was in a situation where her first son, Aaron, and this is the history, brothers and sisters, about that what Pharaoh did is one year he would kill all the sons, and the next year he would let the sons live. Quran tell us we slayed your men folk and let your women folk live. And then here it is in the year where Moses was supposed to be killed. Why did she put him in? Why did she put him in the water? She's just like, I'm just gonna put him in the water.
No fear that now the way it is told in the sense of to think on it, everyone, in a woven basket, and no fear that it's going to be tossed and turned, hit something, none whatsoever. And I wonder if all mothers, just the mothers, if all mothers are we able to do that trustingly as our children leave home after we've nursed them or taken care of them from day one on through doing what is necessary, and then we place them. You know how a child cries their first day of kindergarten,
Yeah,
if it's in the rule to do that. Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
literally have to turn around and walk away.
yes. But she was forced. She was forced to do it
Yeah.
because they was gonna kill her child. They was gonna kill Musa because he was born in that year, so he was supposed to die.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress was on her. And she was inspired. That's what the Quran said. Quran said she was inspired to put him in the river.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Right into the hands of the leadership too.
but the thing is, she didn't know that.
Right.
She didn't know that was going to happen. She had faith. So from the very beginning, Allah was in control. It was a bad situation. But Allah already had a plan. And it was difficult. It was a difficult plan for a human being to understand. But Allah
Yeah.
had his plan. Allah had the plan. And then the next thing you know is Moses, after a bunch of years, he winds up being. Remember, I see a fire. Let me go up there and find out. All of a sudden, he gets up there, and then the next thing he says, "Yo, man, you on sacred ground, taking off your shoes. Look, you got to go and free the children of Israel." It's like, what?
Which came first? Was it throw down? What is that in your right hand?
Well,
And
that came
that came
after.
after.
Yeah,
Okay.
so but the thing is that it came is like, listen, I'm here, and you are my, and I'm telling you that you got to go to Pharaoh and free the children of Israel, and
Let
Moses
my people go. Huh?
and Moses wasn't with that. He was not with it as a human being. You
Yeah.
can understand the human part of it. Somebody
Yeah.
just come. He couldn't even see God.
Right.
But he said, listen, I'm inspiring you to go and see, and Moses was like, me? I'm talking about the human experience,
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
human response that anyone would have, that any of us would have. This is what I want you to do. He said, listen, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? And that's when he told him, throw your rod.
And now and he said too about if I go back, those people are gonna kill me because I'm wanted.
Right,
I killed a man.
right,
So now and I literally hear that sentiment when someone has been to prison and they come out and you say, you could be good at such and such. And they will say, I've been to prison. I'll share it with somebody who hasn't been to prison and is like, no, this is your baby. And they have that fear.
right. Yeah, yeah. So,
Thank you.
in spite of all that, and then he said, listen, I'm not a good speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a good speaker, man.
Right, right.
You know, well, yo, look, send my brother Aaron with me, man. Because man, I'll get twisted and all the rest. And God said, okay, you got it. You don't have no fear. I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, that was it. I got your back. I want you, the shepherd, the one who been out of Egypt all this time. I want you to walk up there in your shepherd clothes with no jewelry, with just a staff, you and your brother. Just walk up there and knock on the door and tell him that you want to see Pharaoh.
Well, he already had, let me see, didn't he already have access to Pharaoh? Because he grew up there
Well, he grew up there,
and then he left.
but he left.
And that's when he got into his testing trials situation with his friend and all of that. He got to
And
know the culture of the world.
yeah,
In other words, he got to
yeah,
know the culture, everyone.
yeah. And God put a feeling in his heart that he wanted to visit his mother and his
This,
stepmother.
oh, yeah, his stomach, Asiya.
Yeah, he wanted to visit her too, because she was the one who raised him too.
Mm-hmm.
She was his protection while he was there.
I mean, how about that?
Yeah. So he wanted to see them. And when the time came, to it, she backed him.
Mm-hmm.
She backed him. She backed him against her own husband
Mm.
because she knew her child.
The love, the
So,
love and the trust.
right. But Moses was prepared for that
Mm-hmm.
years before.
Mm-hmm.
But so a lot of times we go through things we don't know. We don't know.
But it's a culture. It's something, that whole process of of development. You don't know until that strength has to come forward. That's it.
Yeah.
When that strength is called upon.
Yes. I went to I was in the hospital on Thursday. I was in the
Gone? Just Thursday gone?
Yeah, Thursday. I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. Because I had to have a procedure done. And the whole time I was there, I was comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I was in pain, but I was comfortable.
Your soul was at rest and your body was just experiencing the pain.
Well, physically, I was comfortable.
Okay.
I had taken some medicine,
Okay.
even though I was there for that time, man, and there was, crazy, ridiculous things going on. I was comfortable.
Hmm.
And the thing is that, it's like getting a flat tire. It's like
Mm-hmm.
to get a flat tire. It's like, hey, this is not something you want to deal with,
Right.
but you got to deal with it. And that's how it was for me. I didn't want to go to the hospital, but I didn't have a choice.
Hmm.
And so the question becomes, what do you ask? I said, well, Allah must, know better than me.
Yes.
And so, even though it was a struggle and, complications and all the rest of that, you got to work yourself. I had to work myself through it. And, I was able, alhamdulillah, I was able to have all the things that I needed in order to get to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all the things that I needed, I was able to do that. So when I get out the hospital, and I'm out the hospital for one day.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a situation where like well you automatically all right after one day. It's not like that. Sometimes it takes time for you to get over illness sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Mm-hmm.
still ill on Friday,
And
and
we didn't even know it.
I said to myself, I'm not going to Juma.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not going to Juma. I said, well, I'm sick and all the rest of that. But then the thing came up in me. Yo, man, that's an obligation. And I'm like, oh man. So I was able to go to Juma, comfortably travel to Juma and
Mm-hmm.
get there. And I sat down outside and realized that there was other Muslim men that was just as sick as me. You could see it.
Mm.
You could see it as they were coming forward, taking seats, that they were just as sick as me, or even sicker.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell by the way they carried themselves with their body.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I made the right decision because they made the right decision too, because the responsibility is to attend Juma.
Mm-hmm.
And Allah showed me that, listen, you could be sick, but just get there. Just get there.
There's a message waiting just for you.
There's a message waiting for you, and there's a blessing waiting for you too.
There you go. Yes. And
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah, yeah.
Your
So
acknowledgement of what you saw and how you interpreted it.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So we have people are very they don't like the fact that we do that. And I'm going to play this for you, Sister Martha.
Okay.
Because you wasn't here when I played it. You weren't here when I played it. But this says a lot about people. Um, and so I'm going to play this.
Okay.
I got the share on.
Why does JFK Airport need a designated Muslim prayer space? I'm not saying that Muslims can't pray. You have the same religious freedoms. An airport is a transportation hub, not a place to attend religious services. Are we going to accommodate all religious faiths then? I don't think that this is a bad question to ask.
Sorry, is that where we are now? The prejudice has gotten to a point where you're offended that other faiths simply exist next to you? Asking why is there a need for an Islamic prayer in an airport isn't intellectually honest or bright, but let me see if I can put it in simple enough terms that even you can understand. You see, a prayer or meditation room at an airport is a civilized way to accommodate people who are clearly not at home and might need to pray or meditate or simply reflect. People also travel for all kinds of reasons, sometimes really sad reasons, and might benefit from a moment of prayer or meditation. And then you ask if they're gonna accommodate everyone's faith. The answer is yes. Yes, they do
Mhm.
now. You see, you're singling out Muslim prayer because your question isn't an honest one, but you should know that JFK offers 5 locations where people can pray. One is an area for
Mm.
Islamic prayer, but there's also a synagogue, a multi-faith chapel, and
Mm-hmm.
of them 2 Christian chapels. And that should make you very happy considering the life-size cross around your neck. They even
I don't have to go any further with that.
Wow. And that's almost saying like breathing. Are we going to let everyone breathe at the same air that I breathe?
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly some of the idea that actually goes on in America today, that you don't have the right to breathe the same air that I breathe, because you're Muslim. But the other part is that it's a lashing out, because they see the simplicity of the religion. You go to the airport and you see 5 or 6 people are gathered, say for Juma prayer,
Mm-hmm.
or you see 5 or 6 people gathered for Asr prayer at the airport.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like you see that there's a whole lot of people that are actually, and then sometimes they use the Christian chapter to actually go and pray.
Mm-hmm.
They don't only use the Muslim chapel, they use the Christian chapel, because that's what, some places just have a meditation room.
There you go. That's
Everybody.
what hospitals. They yes, they cater to, and it's just prayer with the creator. So you have non-committal kind of signs. You're not worshiping that sign.
No, but because you see people, gather to
Mm-hmm.
make the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because Muslims, what they do when it's time for Asr, Muslims come together and pray.
And that proves the truth, holding truth. And this is a culture of outlet, everyone, for everyone, because the human being needs to have a station in their own, in our own makeup, a station that we say we can come to in our mind and think on it and say, you know what? I just need to have a moment of silence. I've done it at the airport. I've found a little corner. People are seated. They're not infringing on what I want to think on right then at that moment. And I'm not infringing on the conversations that they're holding. So the idea is when we say, when we read that the whole earth is the commune place. I'm saying it that way. It could be the mosque, it could be the synagogue. It is where you can, at whatever moment, give a moment that you could feel free, that the creator hears your call, your plea, your moment of silence, or however you go through that particular process. The
Yes,
whole earth.
yes. See, and we have an ideal, we have a structure that gives us the opportunity to give praise and glorification to Creator 5 times a day. Whereas, Christianity waits till Sunday, to come together and give that. And I think that's the problem, that, oh, look at them, they're praying. They're invading our country. They're invading our
Mm.
country because, like, look, they're praying again. The whole idea about uh, closing down 42nd Street and all those Muslims coming together, to pray on 42nd Street. Oh, they looking to take over. No, we just coming together to pray. But when they see that, it causes fear in them, that they don't understand, and they don't want to understand. And that's what will be, that we're breaking into. We're
Hmm.
breaking into that idea that they have, because they can't stop it. I mean, you got a problem with people praying? I mean, please. Yeah. Why are you again? Because they praying. Yeah, because they reading the Quran. Yeah, they,
Now, suppose we change the thinking on that, everyone, and you say it's almost like an imaginary defense. Every time you see anyone praying, I have seen older women sitting and just, they're in a quiet space. You can tell it. And I've seen older men in a quiet space. And for me, so it's, they are praying that for your peace. I had one man, one William, no, everyone, if you can imagine, I'm walking with my cane. Maybe I mentioned this before. Literally, with my back injury, I'm walking with the cane, my husband and I, and he's to my right, and we're at a parking area where you have that median, that cement walking median in
yes,
between, where you park on this side of that median and somebody across the way. Well, the guy across the way, I'm on the asphalt walking, and for some reason, my body goes forward. My cane can't stabilize itself. I can't stabilize it, and I'm going forward, and I'm really falling forward. Do you know? Something pulled me back before my husband could grab my arm, because he was a little distant. By the time he grabbed my arm, I was already straightening up. The guy across the little thing he had just parked, he said, I was praying for you. Hold her up, Lord. Hold her up.
I mean, yeah,
And something just pulled me back. But I was definitely, on the toes and going forward.
right, yeah,
The inertia, the everything, the movement, everything was to hit that concrete. I mean, that asphalt.
yeah. The idea that we have, the idea that we have, as far as the idea that we have as far as uh, Islam is concerned, and I'm telling you, Imam W.D. Muhammad was strong.
Oh,
He was strong.
oh, we now know much after the fact, right?
Yes, and I'm going to play this clip because I just want to play this clip and just listen to the logic of it.
With that spirit of devotion to the one God, we can be purified. It was the spirit to be devoted to Allah, to the worship of Him and Him alone, to obey Him over all others. But He also was sent to extend that purification, to the actual ethical thinking of the people. An ethical society is a society that believes in a moral, rational logic. They believe in the laws of reasoning. Reasoning we think, but our thinking should be given to certain rules of logic. Matters of thinking, of logic, and also in the practical life.
So you see, Imam W.D. Muhammad, you know, he was with us from 1970. Well, he came to us in 1975, and he, you know, promoted, you know, Islam to us, you know, up until like 2006 or 2008.
2008.
Yeah, 2008. But I mean, today
Mm.
in American culture, this still is supposed to be the goal and objective of the Muslim in America. It is our goal and objective. But man, it is a little difficult. You know, with all that's going on, it is a little difficult
You
because of
know,
all the stuff you got going on. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
yeah, you know, as I think of it, and it's when you have defined what, like you say, whatever, when that is the goal, and that is to know that the creator is one, and the creator has created everything, everything, even everything that we use, everything that we think on. We don't we don't have another option. Step outside of Try to step outside of our thinking arena. Try to use some other process. You can't do it. Try to think on any object that we a thing that we want to accomplish. Try to think of not using anything that's already created and create something that's not here already. You
Well,
can't do
you
it.
know, when we're in a situation of America today where, you know, people have control over our lives, and they have control over our lives to the point where you can't buy a house. You know, I'm talking about as African American people, and there might be other people, but you know, I'm focusing, concentrating on African American people because there is, uh, and I know, you know, there are many that might be listening and even you, Sister Martha, but you know,
Hmm.
these are just realities of the situation that we have here in America. And what has happened is, uh, the African American who came over here and had his language taken from him, he had everything taken from him. And here it is, there's a logic, you know, that the African American has had to go through and had to develop, you know, because you know, it's like, yo, man, it's like it's not given to you. So I want to play something else. And there's a couple that I want to play. Um, and I'm playing this on to explain, you know, the situation that we're really talking about. Um, and this here is Eddie Glaude, you know, who is a professor. But here we go.
Oh yes, yes.
country didn't love me. I had to learn how to survive it. So the question becomes, why would you expect me to love it? And I think they let me say it this way, put it this way. The expectation that we should love the country comes out from two places. One, that we should show gratitude, that all the things that we've achieved has been because of them, not because of the hard work, not because we're swimming upstream or against the headwinds. No. My life, my achievements is because somebody gave them to me, because I didn't earn them, because I don't have the merit, according to these folks. That's one thing. But the second thing is that they need us to love it just like they needed the slave to love being enslaved.
Mm.
Think about the stereotypes of Uncle Tom. Think about the stereotypes of how Black folk were supposedly the docile slave who loved being, right, the property of white folk. Because in order to confront the reality, you're going to have to, again, confront yourself. So we have to love the country because they don't want to answer the question, why don't we? Because if we answer the question honestly, why don't we? Then it throws it back to them. What kind of country have you created? What does it mean to ask me if I love the country in the moment when you're literally gutting, pulling out the entrails of the country that the civil rights movement helped build? The country didn't love me. I had to learn how to survive it. So the question becomes, why would you expect me to love it?
So, I mean, I think that that's an interesting question, for us. And that's why I say, what Imam W.D. Muhammad says is definitely correct. And that's something to us. But we definitely have to be aware of this circumstance and situation that we are in, and to be able to intellectually and logically understand, what it is that that was going on with it, to that degree. And it didn't just happen, with Eddie Glaude. It didn't just happen with him. This is Muhammad Ali. Back in the 1960s or early 70s.
I always ask my mother, Mama, how come is everything white? I said, why is Jesus white with blonde and blue eyes? Why is the Lord stuck on all white men? Angels are white, Pope, Mary, and even the angels. I said, Mother, when we die, do we go to heaven? She said, naturally, we go to heaven. I said, what happened to all the black angels? They took the pictures. Some pink folks was in heaven too. And the black angels were in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey. I was always curious, and I always wondered why I had to die to go to heaven. Why I couldn't have pretty cars and good money and nice homes now? Why do I have to wait till I die to get milk and honey? And I said, Mama, I don't want milk and honey. I like steaks. And I said, milk and honey is a laxative anyway. Ain't a lot of bathrooms in heaven. So anyway, I was always curious. I always wondered why. Tarzan is the king of the jungle in Africa. He was white. You see this white man swinging around Africa with a diaper on, hollering, oh! All the Africans, so he's beating them up and breaking the lion's jaw. And here's Tarzan talking to the animals, and the Africans been there for centuries, and he yet can't talk to the animals. Only Tarzan to them. I always wonder why Miss America was always white. All the beautiful brown women in America, beautiful suntans, beautiful shapes, all type complexions, but she always was white. And Miss World was always white. And Miss Universe was always white. And then they got some stuff called White House cigars, White Swan soap, King White soap, White Cloud tissue paper, White Rain hair rinse, White Tornado flow wax. Everything was white. And the angel food cake was the white cake, and the devil food cake was the chocolate cake. Everything white. I always wondered, and the president lived in the White House. And remember, he had a little lamb, his feet as white as snow and Snow White. And everything was white. Santa Claus was white. And everything bad was black. The little ugly duckling was a black duck. And the black cat was the bad luck. And if I threaten you, I'm going to blackmail you. I said, Mama, why don't they call it white mail? They lied too.
So that's that with
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali. So and I played that because Imam W.D. Muhammad talks about the logic, and this was the logic that Islam brought to Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
There was a confidence that he had that he could actually get up there and say something like that. And it inspired a lot of other people to look at this logic
Mm-hmm.
that he was showing that was in the culture of America
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So,
Yeah.
it is one thing that Imam W.D. Muhammad is talking about, to talk about, our responsibility as Muslims to depend on Allah to that degree. And, listen, Allah is the one who he inspired Muhammad Ali
Mm-hmm.
with the right balance
Mm-hmm.
to be able to drop a message like that. I mean, like,
That was deep. It was on the surface, you laugh, but the earthquake is happening in your mind. It's opening up all those doors. Have you accepted it and just gone on and just conformed to the thinking of others? You figure, oh, well, they must have already been here eons and eons of years. Who am I to change the system and then to back it up in a scripture, that is fed to you by ones looking like you?
yes, yeah. And this idea is these the evolution
Mm,
of the African American that has come about from Elijah Muhammad to Muhammad Ali, Minister Farrakhan, Imam W.D. Muhammad, that there has been an influence that these men and women have
mm-hmm,
had on the thinking of African American people, and has brought about a logic and has questioned the logic of the culture
mm-hmm,
that we
mm-hmm,
are in today. And even though the politicals and the economics and all the rest of that continue to promote the lie and to try to keep control, we are consciously aware of the game that's being uh, uh, the game that goes on in our society. So
mm-hmm.
this that winds up being something that is very, very true with us.
And the two norm for I could say for the cultural arena that I've grown up in, not only normalized, you heard the words or you saw the actions of the mistreatment. I'm say those actions, saw the mistreatment, you heard about it, but the womb of the community that we were in allowed you to still express yourself, and they obligingly coach you on to do your best, do your best. Now, how far that was going to take you in someone else's arena, we didn't know, but we treasured that pat on the shoulder and the encouragement, study, learn more. And we're wondering, we didn't think why. We just, okay, the more I know, the more I grow. I can become whatever is interesting in me that I have an interest in. And not knowing that when that door that will be closed off to you, and you recognize, oh, okay, I'm not easily accepted. Why not? So those are inward things that you or situations you contend with, and that's when you call on the Creator, as Imam Warthi Muhammad Rahimahullah was referring to. You call on Almighty God, and you believe, and you've read it. The heavens and the earth, and the sun, the moon, the stars, and like you say, Honorable Elijah Muhammad Rahimahullah, understanding his life, getting to know that, and understanding he and his wife's relationship, and how their life took a turn for the better, and so they kept going forward with their families and everyone around in that arena in the 30s to the 60s on to the 70s, mid 70s. And then right in the mid 70s, it was almost like the train station. You come to that train station to switch tracks. You're not changing from the track from before or behind you, but you come to this Y, to this juncture, like Moses did with this, and you take. And I remember the two roads diverged into a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that was Imam Warthi Muhammad.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And so what we want to do, we want to hear from Imam W.D. Muhammad again, because in today's, you know, on cultural insights, in today, you know, we give a shout out to our brother from Imam, what's his name? Sahir, that words make people. What's his name? You know his name? Well, he puts up, you know, shorts about Imam W.D. Muhammad, you know, and when he puts up these shorts, you know, and I was like, you know, he's talking about Islam and all the rest of the Imam W.D. Muhammad.
Oneness protects our differences, and it protects our diversity. That oneness is our protection. Keep with faith in one God, that's your protection. Believe that your human family is one human family of many families, the black, the brown, the yellow, the red, of all other families, but one family. And oneness protects our differences, and it protects our diversity. That oneness is our protection. Keep with faith in one God, that's your protection. Believe that your human family is one human family of many families, the black, the brown, the yellow, the red, of all other families, but one family. And oneness protects our differences, and it protects our diversity. That oneness is our protection. Keep with faith in one God, that's your protection. Believe that your human family is one human family of many families, the black, the brown, the yellow, the red, of all other families, but one family. And oneness protects.
So, you know, that's the message that Imam W.D. Muhammad, you know, gave us. That's the message he gave us, you know, but that is not a popular message on social media. It's the right message. That is a message that one that I just played. It got 725 views. It should have 7,250
Or
views.
725,000.
Or 725,000. But there's such a separation within our culture, and that's the way that the captains of our culture want it. They want it. They don't want to hear the message of Imam W.D. Muhammad. They know it's true. They know it's true, the message that Imam W.D. Muhammad is saying. And that's why Imam W.D. Muhammad was recognized by faiths all over the world.
That's right. How about that?
Yeah, because they knew that the message that he gave, I mean, this man did not allow his father's message that the black man is God and the white man is the devil. He didn't allow that to get to him.
That's right. And he grew up in the well of that cultural thinking.
That's right.
And to come out from the bed, in the well, because he was close to the bottom of being born with a situation already in force in his world.
That's right. And he was able to have the moral and logical fortitude. The fortitude is a very important word. It's important because fortitude means to survive, to continue to struggle.
Meet
You know,
the challenges head on.
meet the challenges head on. He went against everybody with that.
No fear of not being supported financially and having a family of his own and taking on the character that God will provide through me. God will show me what to do, what he's, and everyone. And this is bringing it to the nuts and bolts. Here's a character of a man following the character of a man that received the message from the Creator.
Yes.
Now, this character of in our current time, Imam Warthi Muhammad, rahimahullah, mercy of Almighty God be upon him, chose to work as, like you say, a carpet cleaner. He studied different things. How can I work and make an honest pay? Cleaning, going to a hotel, William, with a bucket and a brush and to clean windows of a hotel. Going to people's homes with a scrub brush and a bucket and the shampoo carpet cleaner to clean their carpets. Whatever would work. He loved welding and he studied welding and became that welder. Well, the point being is, as the story was told about his mother and his father having hard times, as everyone I know in the 50s, the times when people, African Americans, along with some others, were catching rides going from their hometown to another state altogether to work, regardless of what it was. And so to know that here's a person swept up. I mean, I'm thinking of I don't know why I'm thinking of Dorothy with the hurricane, but being swept up and into a womb or a mass of people that's operating like it's a whirlwind in the midst of this whole. It was like being on a desert because you got this whole movement going on where people are coming, they're gravitating to you because you're a sense of hope. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you're a sense of hope. And whatever we've been doing, we want to get away from it. So we will do whatever we need to do because we believe in what system you're employing right now.
Yeah, and it's because the other system that they was in, wasn't working.
Wasn't working.
The whole idea about, the whole idea about Jesus. It wasn't working for black men in particular. It wasn't working for black men. It didn't show the strength that it needed to show for a black man. And so, when Elijah Muhammad came along, it showed some strength, for black men in particular. And black men was attracted to it because they were talking about the white man as the devil, and all kinds of other things that they could say. Yeah, you know what? That logically makes sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's something that makes sense about that. So, I need to evolve away from this understanding that I have as far as God and Jesus is concerned. I need to evolve away from that because it's not why? Because it's not working for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm doing it. It's not nothing else. Maybe if I try this, maybe it'll give me the mental and emotional strength I need. Fortitude.
Mm-hmm. Now at least you're getting treated better. Even now, listen, working for little or nothing and being kicked at the same time, or working for almost nothing and being served up food, a way to obtain food with the different ways to prepare your fish
Yes.
and beans, and realizing the magnificence of that, but you received camaraderie with it.
Yes.
You didn't get that on the other side over there.
Right. Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, praise be to Almighty God.
Yeah. And so that mental and emotional strength,
Mm-hmm.
that happened with Imam W.D. Muhammad in particular. And then, they made him the leader of the Nation of Islam,
The whole powerhouse, right?
the whole powerhouse. And people that were in positions of power thought it was the band plays on, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Imam W.D. Muhammad said, no, yeah. And everybody pledged.
Mm-hmm.
They pledged. Yo, I'm going to follow you. Yeah, I give my, yeah. But they took away the money. And they
You
was like,
can.
it's like, no disrespect, to you, Imam W.D. Muhammad, but I got to go because I got a mortgage I got to pay. I got children in
Mm,
school. I got a car note, and the money I was getting, being, captain, lieutenant, or here in the Nation of Islam
mm-hmm.
has been dried up. So, I got to go, man, because I got to go ahead and get me a job. you know, to get So, yeah, you go ahead, man. And then it got to a point where Imam W.D. Muhammad had the number two poor, and what happened? The family turned
The
against
family came and
him.
hey, what is it? Money, 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 money,
Yeah,
money.
but that's how human beings are.
But he
It-
didn't let it be the scheme of it all. He didn't
yeah.
let it be a shaking tree limb for him. He
See,
stayed rooted.
we think that they what they did as far as that's concerned. That's not the first time that that's happened in human history.
Mm-mm.
The Jews used to do it all the time. They used to do it all the time. The Christians used to do it anytime there's money. Right now, today, when a person dies and there's money involved, man,
Mm-hmm.
that's the quickest way for you to see, I could get some of that
The
money.
teeth and tongue fall out.
That's right. So it's a human thing. It's human. It's a human thing that happens. So what happened with Imam W.D. Muhammad, he understood that. He understood that. And he didn't, yo, man, yeah. He didn't do that.
He spoke it what he knew was correct, and he stood by it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and he continued to deliver his message.
Mm-hmm.
The message that we've played today, that you've heard Imam W.D. Muhammad talk about, which is a message that is like boring on on YouTube, because YouTube is excitement, what's going to excite you, what's going to, get your brain cells moving. You hear a message like that, you don't even think about what he's saying.
Mm.
He's saying the right thing, and you don't, yeah, it's like it's logic. Yeah, I understand logic, but it's like logic. No, I'm not with that. But the African American has continued to grow and develop, over a period of time. We have definitely been able to uh, grow and develop over a period of time. So, they got this big thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to, in that culture of money, and connected with religious entities or situations, organizations, organized religious processings. All right, and I'm putting that on the well, let's put it the three tier. I won't say Al Islam, because for me now Al Islam is the whole congregate. Nothing can reach as high as that. But in the division of the Catholic Church, the we just say the Islamic uh, connections, the different ones, we say this is an Islamic country, and then the Christian, Catholic and Christian can go together, but the Catholic do something a little bit more than what I think the Christian churches do. And the reason I say that is because how they get paid and how they have their order, uh, um, their leadership order. And I don't have it all together. I know the knights. The knights stand out to me, and the minister and the deacons on the Christian side, and then the Episcopalian and the Protestants and all of them on the Catholic side. I guess that's a Catholic Protestants. Yes. So when we think of how do the leaders get paid, well, I did ask uh, Google, and it said the Catholic Church leaders receive modest salaries or stipends supplemented by major in-kind benefits like free housing and health care. Their support comes from voluntary parish donations, the diocesan budgets, and the Vatican funds, varying by local costs and the leader's specific rank. So now just housing and healthcare covers a lot.
Right.
It covers a lot because you don't have that to worry, to be concerned with. So now back to the Nation of Islam, you know, we were speaking, when you said about the money's one thing, they had to go and find a job now, because so what was being taken care of at that time, it didn't get, you know, mentioned broadly. But I wonder, you know, the housing, healthcare was not even spoken of, but housing for sure. And I don't know about clothing and transportation, but I believe the housing was. So this modest salary for, and I know in the ministers with the Baptists, I don't know if I know they had annual dedication where they got a lump sum, all right? And it was upon them to budget their monies out through the year. Plus, they were a lot of them were farmers on African Americans' end. They had a little acre here and they would do their farming, and they would sell from that, and they would build their homes from the ground up. So in
Yeah,
essence,
they would
caring for
build
them.
their homes. They would build their homes.
They literally build their homes as they built the church. As long as they knew they were building a church, and they would walk into an institution, or some kind of establishment, and they had that walk, or they had their clothing, their people supported in buying their, because my father was of it, and he said, you know, they buy them suits and things or whatever they wanted. Uh, so to a degree, so they maintained this Catholic based support, the whole religious order supported. Now they didn't support the deacons and the deaconesses, the women and the men, but they are under him, but they definitely supported the leader. So alhamdulillah, and so it was free, like I say, live rent free in a church provided parish house or a rectory. And what was expected of them, you know, taxes, they paid standard income taxes on their cash salary. All right. They didn't have to pay on the other expenses, you know, things that were being paid for them. And I guess the priesthood or whatever paid for them under their tax base or shelter. But this is, and I'm not saying it's right. It's a culture
Yes.
that is developed,
Yes.
that it says, and so it ran rampant, not under the Catholic. Now they're more secure under their established order, but under the Baptists and I don't know if it's the Methodists, but definitely under the Baptists, minister people started getting what do you call these? Their certificate to preach.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It ran rapid about 10 years ago. It was rapid. People were going online, becoming ministers,
Right.
and
And
going and
what
yeah,
was
to
that
get the
for?
support.
Right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah. I just want to add on what you're saying. You're right. That's how they get paid, is through our taxes. That's how they get that money, is through our taxes. Alhamdulillah. But I
And
did, and I know that's what they do.
oh, okay. So and the people at different times, I know in the churches when I grew up in, there was an annual, what they call it, the pastor's annual anniversary. All week long, they raise monies, got donations, and they held functions and come to that grand day. I remember one time we they made a jacket for out of money, out of bills. Literally, he could put it on. He and his wife could put it on, and it was all in money. But that's not to say that they weren't those who were sincere with sharing the word and giving the right direction prayerfully. But I know when those ones start going to the internet getting their certificate to preach, and then be going to a church and finding a congregation, and all they had to do was do the emotionalism part, and voila, they were into the culture of that religious order. So alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
supposed to be.
So I have a question for you, Sister Marla.
And preach that lie.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Get that money. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it's about getting that money. And I have a question for you because what I've been doing is I've been looking at possibilities of moving, to other places.
Okay.
And in the process of, doing that, I was like, I'm not doing a house, but just an apartment. And
Mhm.
and I said apartment.com or whatever. And the basic, the apartment, I don't care whether it was from Charlotte or Maryland, Florida, a one-bedroom apartment costs $2,000, and the two-bedroom apartment is 2,500, and a three-bedroom apartment is $3,000, and then they could say it's affordable, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, with that?
Mhm.
I mean, but this is people that we live in a culture, in the economic culture, where they're going to try to get as much as they can from you, much as they can from you, and then say it's affordable.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So this person that is in your state, I think her name is Angie Nixon. You've heard of her?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know her personally, but yes, the one that's running that
And
that.
it's to the court.
Yeah,
Huh?
the whole idea with her was you know which was interesting, which was this.
House right now, as many
I'm going to start it from here. Yeah, go ahead.
to the courthouse right now, as many of you know. The governor had me arrested after I tried to meet with him at his office, and he refused to meet with me. Why? Because they forced through illegal rig maps intentionally designed to silence Black voters. Today, we will find out if they're going to formally charge me for having the audacity to demand fair representation. For you, the people, for all of us. Let me be clear. No matter what happens today, I am not backing down from listening to and defending the people. They are trying to intimidate us because they are terrified of what we are building together. They are terrified of our movement. But I want to remind you all, we're in this together. Headed to the
So that was from this candidate, and what it sounded like was, that idea that we've been talking about is fortitude. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it sounds like. I mean, like for the governor, DeSantis to, try to get her, just to say that, like he had that power to do that.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, we accept certain things because it functions in a certain way. And I'm speaking of the freedom to have access to a public domain. And that public domain are the houses of where the politicians work. Of course, you go through the channels of being there, but in one year when Governor Bush was the governor, and the educators and the representatives were saying that, listen, the classrooms are too full for one teacher. You're gonna hear us, and they went and did a sit-in. I don't know if you remember that. They did a sit-in until he acknowledged to come forth. All they want to do was let's work this thing out. So the same thing that she's doing, and she's pretty young. Um, when I look at how young she is, and now when she ran for office in 2020 and became a representative, to be 36 years young and to be on that trail, you have to have been on the trail anyway, and to get into the climate of of politics, especially when you're coming up in the Democratic Party. We held here that we had one gentleman that was totally the best choice to represent the Democratic Party. When the ugliness showed its head, was when he was to be elected as the one to come forth, and they were like, he was raising the monies. He was at meetings. He had a leadership following, and I think it was out of Miami. We invited him to St. Petersburg, and we had a breakfast for him. And he let us know, no one, I just say, point blank, listen, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't jump ship just because of this, but just know what you have to deal with in-house, behind the scene. So that's what I'm sure with any political group. So with her being a Democrat and mostly, I don't know if you all heard of that the socialists, what socialism really stands
Well,
for.
that's interesting that you would mention that word because that's a new word that has been introduced into the language. They
Well,
weren't using socialism before, but
well,
since this is since Mandami, they started using the word socialist.
here in St. Petersburg, the word socialist, we got the Uhuru, all right, meaning for freedom, right? So the Uhuru group, run by Mashatel, a young man who defied the city council here and tore down this thing that was on the wall depicting African Americans dancing for money, right? Children, everybody see that. They walk up there to the city hall, and that's the first mural that they will see. Well, he got rid of that, and they imprisoned him. But he come right back around when he got out, and he ran for. He was with the socialist help. Now, where does socialism come from? Now, it comes. You go way back. It wasn't to that extreme, but it was getting the support of those who were socialists.
What does that mean, though?
Well, it can mean where the common everything is pretty much paid for to a degree. It's meaning your living, your education, your health care, primarily those two things,
Yeah, but
education and health.
that's not that hasn't been in American politics or the American.
No, that's why I'm saying that the socialist
Yeah,
extends from across the waters. Yes.
right. But so they're basically saying that the civil rights movement is a socialist movement.
No. They're intertwining the idea of what to strive for. It has a lot to do with socialism. But that's why when you're studying the party, the different ones, Democratic means of and for and by the people, right? But what do the people want? Well, they began to label certain things as communism and socialism.
Those are buzzwords
Exactly,
for the
exactly. But
Republican Party.
and now the core idea it says is public ownership, and this I'm reading now from uh, this is on socialism is an economic and political system where the community or the government owns and controls the major means of production. Now you go way back to the feudal system and all of that, how they employed people. They didn't employ them. People had to agriculturally take care of the land, and it belonged to the king. The land belonged to the king, so everything produced on that land was theirs, and the people who worked it, they got some part of it, but most of it was for
Yeah,
the
but
king. And
how is that operating in society today?
well, I don't know if you know, there's a system that says a situation that says the city hall, if you wanted to sue the city, there's a maximum of how much you can sue the city for. Same thing with the city property. Remember eminent domain when President Bush pushed that through? Eminent domain. If you own property and they plan to bring through a highway, you've got to get out the way.
What does that have to do with socialism?
That's it. That means the government owns everything. It was saying either the community or the government owns everything.
Well,
You
yeah, but it's just, well, I'm saying to you that
um,
socialism has not been operating under democratic rule or Republican rule. It has not been operating.
it's
Uh,
been intertwined. It's been intertwined into.
where? How?
Well, I just
Because
mentioned, and
because
if you,
is Obamacare a socialist program?
it could be considered as that when you want
What?
people to have, it hasn't gone where it's a fully pledged thing where the community, the people itself are taken care of on that's what I think the Republicans were saying. If you go all the way, it's going to become socialism. If you give everyone
But it was
free
but it was with
free
Obama.
health care.
It was Obama for 4 years.
But I'm saying it's not everyone doesn't get free health care though.
Yeah, but it wasn't a socialist program. It
Right. I'm
wasn't.
just saying no, they were just saying that it will become
Stamps, food
socialism
stamps, food stamps is a socialist program.
if everyone got free food. See, I'm
Everybody
keep saying
doesn't get food free, but you're saying if everyone does not get free food.
exactly. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
so
I'm saying to you, the
uh-huh,
word though, the word is thrown out there to
exactly.
imply to imply that that's the
Exactly.
direction
So
that
it's
they
a
want to go
buzzword.
into.
It's a
Yes.
buzzword. That's what it is. It's a buzzword. You
And
know,
it's to throw a fear into the whole process.
it throws fear into the hearts and minds of the 250 million European Americans that is the dominant culture here in the United States. And so they throw buzzwords out there, so that Mondami has really been getting it, from socialism. And then, this guy El Said, is getting it,
Uh-huh.
on that basis also, that, that's what it's done. I want to play for you this what's her name? Angie Nixon.
Angie Nixon, uh-huh.
Yeah. I want to, give you that she something else that she said.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam.
When you play that,
Yeah,
I want to let you know that the Europeans, they get more food stamps than we do. They was on the food stamp way before we was, and they get more food stamps than we do. You know what? I'm not. They was always getting food
Oh,
stamps.
you who have believed, fulfill.
yeah. Go ahead, sis.
So that's all I wanted to say. I just want to let you know that they get more food stamps than we do. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, well, that's always been the case. That's always been the case. But they're the ones that tell the story, and when they tell the story, they tell the story the way that they
Right. It has its own turn.
they tell the story the way they, and that's why it becomes important. Like you always say, Sister Quran, that we have to write our own story. We have to write our own story, because
Right.
because they will tell the story that they want to tell. And the story that they want to tell is not correct. This is Angie Nixon.
The fact that they were working less and less and less and making more money and getting richer. And meanwhile, hardworking everyday people were working more and still struggling just to stay ahead. And so the people across the state of Florida, across this country, they are tired of the status quo. They are tired of the same old thing. They are tired of politicians that are only looking out for their billionaire friends and family and these corrupt corporations and campaign donors. They're ready for change and they trust me, right? Like I have been doing the work for, again, nearly 2 decades. And so the people in the state of Florida trust me. The fact that they were working
Period.
less and less and less and making more money and getting richer. And meanwhile, hard.
That's her. So it's not like she's new to the system.
No, she's not new.
Yeah, she's not new. But the thing that she brings up, the logic that she
Mm-hmm.
brings up about the current circumstance and situation that she brings up is a real situation that, look, we're going to put DeSantis back in there, or we're going to do some Byron. They got Byron, is supposed to be the candidate,
Mm-hmm.
Republican candidate, but he's one of those guys, man, that is with the Republican Party all the way. Is a black guy too,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody knows who he is, but he's got the support of the 250 million. Many of them, I mean, not to say that all of them, but he's got, the support. And they want to stay in control to a great degree because this is their country. It don't have nothing to do with, the logic. It don't have nothing to do with the logic. It has everything to do with We have to be in control. That's what it
Mhm.
unfortunately, that's what it is. And that's why I always ask the question, this, what Imam W.D. Muhammad always says to us, it's the right message. But how do you get that is that message going to get through to people?
Yes, I believe it is because when the more we, and through shared freedom space, I believe will be the most open message that leaves room for people to independently cast their creativity forward and feel oh, I can improve this particular process, not just for me and my family, but for others as well. If you know how we come up with the traffic system and the waterway system, the cleaning the water, getting the water services to the homes and all of that, we can't deny that when we make things accessible to all that's of good nature, then that is the best situation. But when you begin to deprive or do things, and the main thing they're used is by the means of value, the value system of money, or now we have to hear the talk of the Bitcoin and all the other kind of uh, systems that they're throwing out there. But when you look at everyday food, clothing, shelter, and then manufacturing it. As long as you don't go to the point of forcing people to become, they're saying, we need more jobs. Okay, we're going to build factories and we're going to put everybody in there, and everybody has to work. Everybody in that factory, you have to work 12-hour shifts, and what you get from it is we're going to give you free housing. That's when it begins to move to socialism, William.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that, we have an economy that it's like uh it's the economy that just goes ahead, and it's freewheeling, especially for businesses. The businesses do whatever the heck they want to do, and they charge whatever it is that they want to charge. And the thing is that they have not been uh reined in. They're not reined in. They make cheap product. They're making cheaper product and putting product on. They're selling us pictures of product, and
Mm-hmm.
the product is not necessarily good.
Not doesn't hold up to the picture, right?
Right. It doesn't hold up to the picture, kind of thing. And there are a lot of people that are not conscious of that. They just go ahead and just go with it. That's it.
Now let me step back on. I say step back. I want to explain it much clear, make it much clearer. Coming from when I mentioned eminent domain, as long as it's for the public use is to improve the public situation, then of course the person who privately owns their land and owns the everything on it, uh, it's their prerogative, but ultimately they will give way to what's best for the state, because usually it's highway usage is that they have, or uh, I think the other is where you have estuaries. Well, estuaries, I would say they're already in place. It's just that you don't violate it by going and cutting it down or removing it, where the birds and others don't have a place to go, that they live. They really, that's their habitat, because we've taken over a lot of the forestry. And then we have to grow trees. We have to grow the trees that will still lend themselves to be used for housing or for buildings. It's still much lumber that you still use, even if you use cement.
Yeah, I just wanted to give an example of the freewheeling of businesses. Especially like DoorDash, something like DoorDash. I just put in an order for two lo mains, just to put something in,
Uh-huh.
and it came up to a subtotal of $44. Now, if I was supposed to go to the store, get a direct,
Mm-hmm.
it charged me $44. But in order to have it delivered,
Uh-huh.
it's extra $20.
And plus then you tip the driver when they come.
Right. And then they say a tip. Right. And they have a service fee, a delivery fee and a New York regulatory response fee. And all together, it comes to almost $20. And so who's regulating that?
And your tax collector.
It's not enough, just that you're, service, supporting the business, but they're taking advantage. And then they give you they say the $14 and $15 fees, $16 tip, $14 tip or $15 tip. That's what you can press a button on. So $62, $44 thing, and then it's going $62, which is like extra $20, and then an extra $15 on top of that, which is the tip.
Well, you're living in a fast moving country, and you're living on high. The gas is higher, living expenses are higher, so the services are definitely going to have to be moved up. The service fees. So and we I hope we're not fooling ourselves to know that we don't have to pay taxes. The country was in war, almost I guess in war over taxation, right? Taxation without representation was one thing, but taxation, inflation, all of those things working as a complement to what the people needs are, it goes right back down to supply and demand. So if the demand is building and the supply is less, then of course, when you get these systems in place, remember when it was just taxis, you can just call the taxi. Now you have people literally going into the grocery store and shopping for you. They walk through the aisles and you think that they're shopping for themselves. No, they have a list in their hand. And then you're standing at a counter at a takeout, and they come in and they have a name and they tell the person behind the counter the name of the thing. Person turns around, they've already got this package all good and stayed warm, put it in that person's hand. Now that person has to speed through traffic and pray that they don't get a ticket because they have to deliver your food hot.
Yeah,
So-
that's excuses.
But it's reasonable excuses when you think about if I get a ticket, speed.
If you get a ticket, you behind ain't supposed to be the speeding. What are you
Okay,
talking-
but the person who ordered it wants
your
it
fault.
in.
Your
They want it
fault.
fast.
But if you get a ticket for speeding, that's your fault. Why you
But
gonna put that on me?
But the complaint, will you complain if your food got warm rather than hot on the other end when you received it? Well, that'd just be a complaint, right? But there's a scar on the person who's delivering it. I'm not saying that they need to get a ticket. I think it should be red flagged. I think that when the police officer stopped them and say, "Hey, I'm for DoorDash." Oh, go ahead.
Okay, you gotta raise hand.
Okay, come on in, please. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm laughing because I'm saying something. That's your business, you gonna speed. That's what it is. I'm just Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Bilal, we got Bilal with us, brothers and sisters.
Crazy. Yeah, brother William Kareem. Look, I think I went with you on the Umrah, right?
Yeah.
I was watching you. Yeah. That was nice, brother. Praise be to Allah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, but I told you what happened yesterday. I waited to be on the phone, and then I ended up in some big field and everything. It was some because I don't know, whatever it was, though. It was me and you, and I remember MC Hammer.
Okay.
Somebody else. See what it was? I was connecting Wiley, right? I was connecting Wiley with the one who sang that song, okay? And so that's probably why MC Hammer came in on. You see,
right.
But I found at the end of the fact that wasn't the YD I was thinking about.
Okay.
I was thinking about the other YD. Yeah.
Oh,
that was a good connection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. But anyway, the mind's something else because I had my earphone on, and but let me tell you, I don't be sleeping. I just wait out, and then I woke up. That's where I was at, with you and MC Hammer, and you can see we was just some kind of feel, Anyway,
Yeah,
do a lot of
yeah, good man. MC Hammer, good man. Yeah, man. Allah
Alhamdulillah.
bless him. Allah bless him. Thank you, brother.
And he had a message
Alhamdulillah.
out.
Yeah.
We've got to pray just to make it today.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
Yeah,
would work
yeah,
right
yeah,
now
yeah,
if that
yeah.
played, right?
Yeah, he was,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, boy.
listen,
Yeah, boy.
it took a lot of strength to put that song out. In that atmosphere, him being a rapper to that degree,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
about prayer, it's like, man, it's like the industry didn't want that.
No, no, they didn't. No, they wouldn't.
They didn't want that.
Oh,
They didn't,
And we're talking 40 years ago, right?
yeah. Well, 30, yeah, whatever. But I'm just saying, the industry don't want that. They want to hear you talking about, the grotesque parts of society. They'll back that. See, and that's how they try to control our culture. You know,
mm,
they give you money, especially the young people who ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make you rich.
right.
All you gotta do is
Hear
all
the
you
good
gotta do.
words, and then but you got to sprinkle it, not just sprinkle it. You got to have some direct the WHs and the BITs and you
All of
got to
that.
inject all of that in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Look,
this,
look, look, read. Great.
yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, look, let me tell you what AI I do, right? Now I know Kevin Gates is connected with them 5% of these folks be Muslim and everything and Jeezy, right? Now I had put a song that Nile had gave me, right? On my telephone, right? Then the next day I know now every time I listen to Rashad or listen to something Islamic, Kevin, they put a lot of Kevin Gates a video with Jeezy on, and then you can see him sometimes with a throw on, and a prayer cap on and everything, That AI is something else though, but it shows that's how it connects. That's what we say. So they didn't connect, they didn't legitimize Kevin Gates in them, and they popping them up on these videos and I'm listening to Rashad and other different Islamic material,
Yeah, just by
It's
putting
something else,
on
right?
by putting on a
Yeah,
cocaine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
the question always is all that, and that's for people who buy it. But the real Muslim knows, are you praying
Oh
5
yeah,
times
yeah.
a day? Are you going to Juma prayer? Are you doing that?
Mm,
Are you doing
right,
that, or are you just doing this for show? So
right.
that's it. That's it. I'm not impressed by any of these guys.
I'm telling you, not at all. Yeah.
unless I
Like
know.
Imam said,
Yeah,
Imam said, we know what Islam is and we know what Islam is not neither.
that's right.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so
Praise
I
you,
mean,
God.
but that's what people do. I mean, some people got it. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, you know, and then they be so busy and they might have the right hearts. They might have the right hearts, but it's something that you got to do on a daily basis, man. It ain't like you can, you put on the robe and then take it off the next day and you put on the kufi one day and other places you go in, you don't. He had this, Kevin Gates had this woman, she was a sister, and she dressed in she was married to a famous basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was dressing, in the hijab and all the rest of that, and she was
Oh,
on
okay.
his amp, she was on his arm, and then the next thing you know, man, you saw her the next time, man, she was cursing out, she was cursing out the basketball player that
Oh,
that she had a baby by.
oh,
But you can see them, how G's in them videos or anyway, the way them girls be dressed on that and then connecting with that. I say now that song, I say that song connect at all with him and G's together anyway, because G's is straight up vulgar, with this stuff. I say, but that's how they hook things up. I done seen them with a group. They sat down about 5 of them, right? Now they going to the masjid. They got the Quran there, right? They smoking weed. They got all kind of ammunition, right? Then they go up to the mosque, right? Now I don't know, but maybe they said the artillery down or something because the brother was talking to. But then, you know, themselves they make, you know how they made them videos, man. Just as they, like I say that they like say what the Islam became fetish to them. You know, it's a fad now, and they bring all their crazy and the madness with that. You see,
Yeah.
but, you know,
That's exactly.
alhamdulillah.
Yeah. But you know, Islam is the challenge of being consistent on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
No,
oh yeah,
because
yeah,
the worst thing that you can do is to say La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah and then go against it.
yeah,
See, because once you
right,
say La
yeah,
ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, Allah,
right.
Allah got you.
Right, yeah.
Allah got
You
you.
connected with the Lord of all the world.
That's
That's
right.
right. All
Allah,
system of knowledge.
Allah heard
That's
you
right.
say that you witnessed that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger. So Allah witnessed that, and then all of a sudden you go against that. Hey, what did Allah say? He said, if you follow my guidance, you get blessed. But if you go in another way, you're gonna have to face the consequences.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And that's what it is. So you think you playing. You can't play with Islam.
Oh no,
Can't come
that's not
undercover
it.
like you're an undercover person
Right.
submitting your whole will. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
It will show up and it will show up consequentially.
Consequentially, it will show up. It will show up. It will show up. So, you know, Islam is nothing to be played with. You know, you can take it as, you know,
Right.
fad if you want to, but soon will you know. Soon will you know who you dealing with. You think you dealing with Minister Farrakhan? You still think you just dealing with Imam W.D. Muhammad? You think you just dealing with Prophet Muhammad? You're dealing with the creator of the heavens and the
That's
earth.
right.
That's who you're dealing with.
Mm.
Once you take that shahada, you're dealing with the creator of the heavens and the earth. And then you got two angels on both sides of you. You got an angel on both sides who's recording everything you do, everything you say. Oh yeah. Oh, is that what it? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's the decision you made. Oh, you decided not to make Fajr prayer. Oh, okay. I wrote that down. Okay. You know, oh, you didn't make any prayers today? Okay, I wrote that down. Okay. You didn't go to Juba? Okay, I wrote that down. I wrote that. Somebody asked you for charity, you didn't give it? Oh, okay.
And what's that tafsir? Satan will always show his face, and that's the mercy from Allah.
That's right. And then all of a sudden, because the day comes that for every human being, when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Giving me chills.
But it's true.
It's true.
Human being, it's time to go. And see, people talk about, you know, like, you know, they go, you know, that there's, you know, white people in heaven, you know, and angels, you know, angels, white angels and black angels, and you get to the pearly gates. You don't know reality of the hereafter. The Muslim knows the reality of the hereafter and knows that a record is kept of all of the deeds, and that and when you pass, that record is pulled out. Hey, hey, yeah. Did you make the pilgrimage? Well, I was going to make a pilgrimage. And then, you know, here it is, you know, in your own memory says, yeah, he could have made the pilgrimage, but the reason why he ain't make the pilgrimage is because, hey, you know, how many prayers did you make a day? Well, I was going to try to make the prayers, and then it comes into, yeah, you know, on this day, you know, he was supposed to make the prayer. He decided he was going to make it, but you know what? He got hooked up on social media, and he never got off. He got pulled in by social media, and so next thing you know, he was on there for 2-3 hours on social media. The next prayer came in, and when the next prayer came in, it was like, nah, you know, I'll make it up later.
And look here, and you just raise your hand and plead the fifth.
That's
yeah. I remember, you know, I had a lot of stuff, you know, still in New Orleans, right? So I ran across this. I ran across this in some of my book with a lot of poems, you know. But look, now take what I ran across now. Now take this out. Abdul, a very happy boy. He loved playing with his building block toys. 5 years old. He knew the value of doing what he is told. Abdul is blessed. His parents are the best. Nailah is his mother's name, a housewife who loves all our children the same. His brother, a rapper seeking glory and fame. Abdullah loves his brother Jabril, a singer who thinks he's all that. Hopefully he'll get his common sense back. Nailah's husband is a construction worker. Her daughter Aisha is crazy about her father. She's 2 years old. All they ever do what she is told. She loves a lot of the things she do. Aisha doing what she was raised to do. She loves playing hide and go seek. Nailah get to have some peace. She know where she's at. Just a little time for her to relax. Her husband works hard every day. A maintenance worker who's strong in faith. Abdullah can't wait until he gets on. Nailah home business, people on the telephone. With Aisha around, he's never alone. The grill comes on, sing the crazy rap song. Prayers and Eileen keep the family strong. Kareem come home. Aisha just want to leave him alone. He pick her up. His voice makes him strong. Nailah tried to get a hug in. He's his wife and best friend. Abdullah shows him what he built today. He Kareem hears Jabril singing. He's glad he's safe. Public school is in a good place. Later on, they go to the masjid and pray. Jabril is another use of playing basketball. After prayer, the moms sit around and talk. The women take the younger children for a walk. They run and play on the soccer field. After Easter, they sometimes go to a restaurant for a meal. Now, that's a children's book.
Allahu
I
Akbar.
Allahu
Yeah,
Akbar.
yeah.
I was well into it.
All you have to do is put the picture. All you have to do is put the pictures, and that's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. But that's just to show you how the mind, you be writing. You so you've been on it. You be writing so much, and I just ran to that. I ran to that in about 15 other poems, right? And I said, wow. I say, it seems like every time I go somewhere, I seem like I done left stuff in there. And I remember when I was in Florida, I ran across a lot of poems I had wrote. But I want to drop this on y'all, be have a little time, okay? Taqwa. Now all this coming from, let me tell you something, hammered up. This book obtained in the Ethical Society, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also Imam, what the Imam, what is done by, by Round of Shaheed. You got to take everything by Round of Shaheed, right? But it's something how when I'm reading Imam Muhammad books, right? It seems like his words, maybe like every other sentence, I'm trying to say in the context of what I'm doing, every they fall in line. But the other words are rhymes. So I can just leave it like it is, So this right there, he make it very easy on me. Taqwa. Changing our progress in our own neighborhoods will greatly change America. Resiliency towards oppression has made us tough. We come to know our limitation. We come to really give credit to the one who calls all things to be, the world in us, being people that other nations can trust. We believe in the one common life of humanity, and that life is spiritual, a new people that lives and thinks rational. We are utilizing the Quran and the lifestyle of the Prophet, free thinkers who are enjoying life benefit. Our conscience focus on the more important things in the life of society. Because we are sincere and truthful, our consciousness will be elevated to the heaven of our soul, as high as the human mind and spirit can go. Our right intention elevate the soul and expand the mind, advancing our cause, able to read creation signs, knowing the value of not crossing the line. We are at peace with ourselves, with others who have good intentions. We want good for those who don't have good intentions. We have been awakened in our consciousness that God wants for others. This is taqwa. Religious consciousness. Focus is taqwa. I see my race supported by my identity as a human person of decency, having common life with all other people, being more useful and responsible, building upon our nationality, with an appreciation for my life excellence more than appreciation for my political persuasion or even my racial ambition or aspiration. Nothing is more important than the life of the original soul created by God in religion. If all of us are identified in that, we can have peace, supplying social and neighborly needs. We can develop our consciousness better, and we can realize such richer spirituality. Our central focus is mankind unity, reverence for God and the human family, that innocent consciousness that resides in us, wanting to live a life that's honorable, decent, and trustful. Isn't God all forgiving and merciful? We must begin with respect or consciousness for our Creator. Then everything else. Generational wealth is much smaller than universal wealth. Creation will give up its treasures, the lives bounties without measure. And I'm gonna tell you, it's like Imam Muhammad.
We thank you. Let me just say this, Bilal.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, you heard from our brother, and he put a lot of work into that. You could tell, but the only way that you could tell is that you have to stop thinking and start listening to what he's saying. That's what and that's not what we don't do that enough. But we have to sometimes turn off our thinking and start listening to what's being said, and then use the logic of what's being given to us. And so, right here on A New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360, we always have a place for our brother Bilal, because the presentations that he comes with is things that he has thought about, and he has put them in a way that is logical, and we appreciate the message, my brother.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
Yes. Well, we at the end of the program, so
okay.
No, I mean,
I was glad I was able to come in. I was glad I was able to come in and do that. Praise be to Allah.
Well,
that's good,
man. We on from 10 to 1. You're always welcome, brother. But we want to also we always also want to say this here, that Sister Martha, tell us about what's going on, because we got Founders Week actually that starts tomorrow.
That is correct. Right off the top of the day, and living in the upload life. How about that? At 8 a.m. everyone. Yes, and Dr. Aisha Kareem will be with us at 12 at at 3:30 p.m. after A New Day, after MAP 5.
Okay.
So she will be coming on, and we will have our first 30-minute capture, everyone. If you want to get to know, we're going through a whole process of the monthly on the Here's Your Calendar successively. But we're starting right now with Founders Day. You get to know Dr. Aisha Kareem inside out, as far as the literary part of it, and where she is at this point in her life, and where she's come from, and how did they connect with bringing forth American Muslim 360 in order to bring forth CWSC.
I mean,
so that's from 3:30. It'll be 3:30 tomorrow until 4, from 3:30 to 4.
So what do we have going on today?
Today at 5 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m. is Contemplations of Imam Warthi Muhammad with Imam Michael Hamid and Imam Kareem Hamid, reading from the Ramadan sessions. You don't want to miss that. They've now turned 2 hours into 1 hour.
Okay.
From the Ramadan sessions, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right. Okay, good. Okay, so now what we're going to do, is we're going to go out with Don. We thank y'all so very much, brothers and sisters, for being with us this Sunday. We did it again, Sister Martha.
Yes, and we have our background now too. I'm going to share it over with you, where you can, if we can tweak it or do whatever with it. Cultural insights. We got to get one for Cultural Connections on Friday. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Until then, we give you the greetings. Assalamu alaikum. We're going to go out with the Adhan.
Alaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam.
Don't forget to say your prayer. Say your prayer.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So Muslims all over the East Coast, are going to make that prayer. I don't care if you're in your home or you at the masjid, but you're going to see Muslims, people who say that they're Muslim, they're going to stop and they're going to go ahead and they're going to, because that call tells people it's time to make prayer. And so they're going to do that. So don't get mad at Muslims because, they take time. We're going to take the time to go ahead and make prayer. Would you get mad at somebody for that? You going to get mad at somebody for that? Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, so we're gonna stop the recording.
Right. Brother William.
Yeah.
I think y'all got y'all got like a five or six different masjid in your locale, the borough. How they call the borough? That all of them come together and have a big old thing today. I think it's a day.
Okay.
That brother Abdullah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So listen, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect.